Oh, hello, yet another video, and this is our weekly analysis. Should we, buy the dip or sell on rally? That's another question we are going to try to answer that. And as usual, as you know, we cover our weekly analysis for all the stock markets globally. Major one, mainly I cover India, Australia, and USA, and we also do the analysis for Bitcoin as well. Lots going on there. First of all, my name is Shivendra Bhatia. Welcome to Peaceful Weekend Investing Live YouTube. If you're watching it from the YouTube channel, Facebook, say hello. Are you able to get my voice? I'd like to hear that so that at least we can get started. Okay, so what we're going to cover is we're going to do I'll give you top 3 tips in terms of whether you're going to buy the dip or you're going to sell on rallies, what I am doing, and cover at the end of it. But as usual, we're going to cover what is our Nifty weekly analysis, Nasdaq analysis, and other key indexes analysis in USA. And also we're going to cover what's happening in Australian market. So if you're joining from Facebook or YouTube, say hi. Hi, Anmol, that's great. Thanks so much for confirming. Are you able to hear me well? Yeah, type yes if you can hear me well. That'll be great. Thanks for joining in. Really appreciate that. So topic we are doing, should we buy the dip or sell on rally? As you know, there's lots going on in stock market at the moment. A lot of panic, and the sell-off is happening. Recession fears are happening. The war is not ending between Ukraine and Russia, and with that, everything, inflation fears, recession fears, all coming together. So if you are able to hear me well, type yes, and if you are new to my channel, do subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so that we can, you can get notified as soon as when it come live or I release new videos. Thanks, Anmol, for confirming that you're able to hear me well. That's great. If you're joining from Facebook or on YouTube, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. So what we're going to cover today, first is we're going to say, should we buy the dip and rally? That will be, I'll cover later. But before that, we're going to do a quick Bitcoin analysis, because again, it is one of the one highly sought after, in terms of the asset class which emerged during this whole last couple of years. So it's good to do some analysis there, and then we will do India market analysis and look at all the key indexes and see what is the what is the chart telling us. Okay, and after that we're going to look at Australian market, quickly look at XGO and other key components, key indexes, and then we'll wrap it up with USA index as well for that weekly analysis which we do regularly. And then thereafter we will look at what I am doing. I'll share top 3 things which I am doing, and I'm again with clear I want to play out the disclaimer so that we get started with that, because any stocks I'm going to discuss is of, I'm not recommending to buy, sell, or any of that. It's just I'm sharing my view every weekend, come live with you. So let me quickly play the disclaimer. So please read that carefully. Fantastic. So let's get cracking. So I will share my chart on my screen so that you can see that. Here we have Bitcoin. So what I'm using here is TradingView, right? And this is a must tool. And I think TradingView is one tool which one should use it. And you don't have the free account, you go right now on sbhatia.co/tradingview and subscribe for it. It's completely free, but you get tons of information about stock market. You gain a lot of knowledge, and there's a lot of information here which you can use it for it. Like for example, you go into your if you go to profile, if you go to TradingView itself, let me show you quickly. So if you go into profile, it's just coming up, it's a bit slow. So if you go into on the top, you will see editors pick, and there's a lot of information. It's a community driven tool which you can see a lot of people editors pick popular ideas, and also at the same time it also tells you about market. And I like this snap. This is beautiful. So you'll get everything within 5 minutes. You can read through what's happening in crypto, exploitation, Adobe dump, what is happening with Adobe. And so you can set up based on market stocks indices, and I generally look at it quickly every day morning to get what's going on. And that's pretty much it. So this is beautiful, and I think you should get yourself subscribed to it, and simply go to sbhatia.co/tradingview and set up yourself an account. Okay, so that's one thing which I wanted to share with you quickly. So let's go and get cracking with our Bitcoin analysis. Now, last time when I made the video, I did share some analysis, and since then I kind of mentioned, I think, let me open not futures. This is a future chart. Whenever you see 1 colon, that means it's future. Let's go to Bitcoin crypto, and we will show me all sources, and I will go to Bitcoin in a minute. Let's take Binance. I think that was the one. No, sorry, I got it wrong. It's not the future. Dollar. Doesn't matter. So last time I said, when I made the video around 24,000, and I said I'm expecting more downfall. As you can see here, Bitcoin is now at this point. This is one of the asset classes emerged. It has no store value. People are just kind of at the moment investing on thinking some people are investing based on future. Some people think that this is something equivalent to gold. Everyone has their own view, but again, I am not personally investing on it. I'm just do this analysis because I'm following blockchain, and blockchain is underlying theme of Bitcoin, and it also gives you the investor sentiment around it. But again, with the inflation interest rate going up, inflation fear, the money is moving out of the risky assets and moving to the safe assets, and crypto is not left. There's complete bloodbath in crypto at the moment, and cryptos are, again, it's an exchange value which is happening by itself. The cryptos were not having any by itself any kind of intrinsic value. Again, they were doing staking and all that. I'm not going to go in detail, but that was highly speculative and unregulated, right? And you can see here now crypto price as of now for 2017 is almost close below that, and you can see that was my expectation. Now the next stop is, let's see what happens, but I think another key level to watch out for is around 12,000. I'll not be surprised if it touches around 13,000, this zone. But let's see whether the buying returns on crypto or not, or what's going on here. But I think 13,000 is a key level to watch out for, right? So that's my analysis for the crypto, and there could be the similar situation coming in for other market as well. Again, that's something is my view in terms of what I'm trying to share, but it is important that you understand that crypto is highly speculative, and so I'm not recommending anything to buy, but it's important to know what's going on. But definitely it is going downward at this point, and this is a weekly chart, and weekly chart, it's a complete bearish candle which has formed. Okay, and next level to watch out is 1300. Let's see whether buying returns, but at this moment of time I'm not seeing that as happening. Let's look at daily chart and see. There is a bit of buying happening, but again, this is completely, as you can see, is EMA 21, and on a monthly chart, I think it is at the very it's kind of completely shaven off from 65,000, and again I've turned the log chart on to give you that perspective. From 68,000, 70,000, now it's around 19,000. That is insanely losing a lot of capital of gone in, right? So keep that in mind. Let's move on to our next analysis for India market, right? So let's look at quickly India market. Now you've been following all the videos, then you will understand what I've been covering up. Let's look at Nifty now. So what we want to cover is the India market, right? So let's quickly look at what are the key levels. Now, for me, the one of the key levels which I was tracking was this level, and that has been broken convincingly and is given below that. So obviously, for me, that is a big um, a red signal at the moment, and obviously you have to now be very cautious. All this while, anything, as you know, in peaceful weekend investing, we follow long-term portfolio and also the lab portfolio. Obviously you're not, it's not a trending market, it's trending down. And always I'm a long only, cash only investor slash trader, if you want to call that way. And for me, this is a complete downward trend at the moment. We'll see what are the key levels. Now the next key level, let's look at the Fibonacci and see what comes out. See if Fibonacci can give us any hints here, right? Let's take it. So right now, I think 14,000 is coming as a key level, and this 14,000 also coincides with some of the key levels of the when last time Nifty consolidated. So I'll not be surprised if this is the area where there might be some kind of an support, which is around 14,300 in this zone. Okay, so you have to keep that watch in it. So you have some more pain coming in. So this is the area which is a value zone at the moment from here, but we'll wait and watch. So 14,000 looks to be on cards here as per Fibonacci, and always it is downward unless otherwise it closes above this line next week, then we are good and we can resume. But again, this is something we have to wait and watch, right? And always said that these are all a downward trend. Okay, if you agree, if you find this useful, type useful so that I'm able to understand that. Yeah, yeah, good. So let's quickly now look at some of the Bank Nifty, what's going on with Bank Nifty. Again, that is also broken below the key levels. The next support is around 30,000, which is there. And it is also broken the trend line as well. So that's also down. CNX Metal, which is also kind of coming back to support levels, which is the key levels here. This is 4,232. So that's also there. And let's look at Nifty Midcap. It also has the same trend as what it was for earlier, right? At the end of it, I will definitely talk about what I'm doing in terms of should we buy the dip or sell on rally, what exactly we should be doing. Yeah. So we are just quickly going over the index so that we understand that. Yeah. Is there anywhere we have any reprieve? Everything is in selling zone. So definitely this is a market where you have to be very careful, cautious, pick your bets, don't venture out, because at this point, and one thing I want to tell you, people get feared about this market and this thing, right? Stock market, when somebody has to sign up and has to understand that you will see these kind of situation where stock market is in a downward trend for over a period of time, and you have to sign up for that, and you have to have a way mechanism to survive that market. If you have to have a process so that you know exactly when you are playing what kind of game in stock market, and that is important. People tend to buy on dips, and people tend to buy saying that, hey, this stock was available at this price, now it's gone down 50%, let me buy. That's not the way it should be. At the same time, you also have to understand that a lot of people just buy them based on tips or from media, from Twitter, WhatsApp, and all that. And those people will have no clue what to do. So for you to, if you have to really be successful in the stock market, you have to give time to learn, understand, and accordingly build your own processes so you can play it very objectively. Okay, that is important. So with that, I think I just wanted to quickly tell you that so that way it's helpful. And if you're finding this helpful, type helpful so that at least I know that you're able to get the values here. Yeah. If you're joining from Facebook or you're joining from YouTube, just type helpful. You can type H as well so that I know that. Okay. So that's about Nifty. If you have any questions, drop it on the chat box so that I can pick that up during my live stream and answer that then and there. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Amoria. So let's quickly now look at it. If you want me to review any particular stock also, I'm happy to review that. So let's go back to what we want to cover next. So that's about Nifty and India market. Let's look at quickly on the Australia market. Okay. So Australian market, as you know, I'm based in Australia, Sydney. So obviously investing here as well. So you need to understand all the markets, and all the markets are of that things. Let's look at XJO, and everywhere the key levels are broken. Look at this. This is almost like a Marubozu candle down, and the whole week was down for Australia market. And it is just simply no reprieve whatsoever, no buying, and it's one-way rally down, right? So this is telling not a great sign at all, and you have to be super cautious. And next levels are the levels I've ignored this and the COVID fall. Now let's see, the next is 6,000 level is what I'm looking at it as a key level, because as you can see last time it has had a support here, and I'm expecting that it will touch here given that I'm discounting the COVID fall. Okay, and the levels are coming very low. Okay, so that is something which you have to keep in mind. So these are, again, I'm just sharing the view, so please do your own due diligence, and that way it is helpful. Yeah. What do you think about Australian BNPI and lithiums? Yeah, I will take your question quickly on that one. Again, is there any specific buy now pay later is completely I'm not at all investing in that sector. Neither I'm looking at it, because I think it doesn't have, like, it is definitely it was a sector which was made a lot of money for those who were able to exit on right time, and there was a wave across the globe. It started from US, and buy now pay later is something caught a lot of fancies. But do we really understand the business model, what they're doing, right? They're basically nothing but a non-banking financial institutions distributing loan through that, and they all are unsecured loans. And times like this, you have to look at strong stocks rather than picking up buy now pay later one. And as far as lithium goes, they are minerals, so they are not part of the long-term story for me. And you have to look at it more. Is there any specific stock you're looking at it? If you want to type in a specific stock, then we can look at that. Right, I'm very specific on the minerals. I know minerals are really doing very well, but lithium was the story mainly on the battery, right? And that was one of the, and battery technology is also changing a bit, so you have to be careful on that. And you have to pick your pick. And I'm looking at rare earth metals, which is where I'm more focused on. But again, that's my view. Minerals cannot be long term, and one of the main pillars of peaceful vegan investing is picking up for the long term story, right? And that is one. And market like this, you should focus on stocks which are available, which business fundamentals have not changed, but they are available at good price, or I would say right price, right? Rather than looking at beaten down sectors like that. Hope that answers your question. Right. Let's look at it. RNU. So the question Anmol asks is RNU. And now just look at it here. Simple. You have to do one more thing I want to show you, and which we'll cover up, is since you're joining here live, I will give you a good tip. Now it's completely broken down, and I don't think so. It's a completely downtrend. And where do we see any strength anywhere? Can you see any strength on this chart? Right? It's a complete selling happening. Yes, it is. It is. It formed a double top, and after that is just falling. Right? Another stock is MQR. Query Resources. Same story. Exactly. If you put both the charts side by side, they're all the same story, right? And like Linus Rare Earth, and you see this is where the buying is happening, and RS is also positive. But again, it touched these key levels, and after that went down, right? But this was a, let me put the log chart, sorry, and this was the key level. And people say that technical charts doesn't work. This is a monthly candle, and monthly candle, if I am looking at it, after touching here, it has just been down. But again, you see the kind of rounding bottom it is finding. As soon as it's gonna grow up, we'll see what happens. But that's what it works. Technical charts on long term works beautifully. I hope that answer your question, Amol. Thanks for asking this question. Really appreciate that, and I'm really appreciate that you're staying back and here and getting benefited of this. If you are getting benefited of this, just type benefited on the chat so that at least we can get going. Okay, so let's move on to our topic, which is there. So XJO, and let's look at minerals. Same story, touch it here, and we are looking at some of the other materials. Again, all of them, I don't think that there was any reprieve in any sector whatsoever, right? And this is one sector which I've kind of, you look at it. Energy, energy, as you know, there's a crisis at the moment, but again, there was a kind of an sell off here, so we have to wait and watch. But there's some strength being shown here at energy level. So that's about Australia market. Let's move to the other segment of our live stream, which is USA market, which is mother of all markets. Let's look at US stocks, what's happening. We'll start with Downjones, which is our, and see what is there, and look at that. And if this is a monthly candle, right? And let's go back to weekly candle. It's not going to be different. It's going to be same. What is important is you please turn the log chart on to see the real thing. This is how many times in the history it has gone below 21 EMA, right? So let me, remove all the drawings so that's clear. So in the past, it has gone 1, 2, 3, and this is a fourth. So if we see after this dip, which was in 2008 financial crisis, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the sixth time from 2008. So that is where it is. And but the important point is that it is up all the time, which is important. So it's up to you to decide whether this time it's different or not, and that's what one has to look at that, right? And take the decision. For me, it is straight line up, which is like 45-degree being formed. So that is something one has to look at it, and that is something we have to focus on, right? And every time it has gone down, it has recovered. So will this time be different? Time will tell. And SPY, it's the same story, almost the same. It has gone down, and it's almost 2 red candles back to back on monthly candle, and you are seeing further downfall. And the next key level is almost at the key level here. As you can see here, it spent some time, and this is where, and we're doing a technical analysis. We're not talking about specific stocks. Obviously, for each stocks, we have to look at it differently, right? And now let's look at the Nasdaq. Is there any specific question you have for the stocks, Anmol? Anmol is asking, what about PLS, CRR, IPD? There are a whole lot of new stocks you're talking about. And is there a specific one I can pick up? Because otherwise, I don't want the live stream to be too big, right? So I can take one of them. Again, this is not my kind of stock which I look at it. PLS at some point, yes, it's a Pilmarman is one of the companies, but it has broken the key levels. I have mentioned the key levels here. This is again for my analysis, I keep track of it, and this is out of that. At the moment, the key levels have been broken, and definitely you have to look at it. Okay, so WA1, so it seems like you are very resource heavy. Not my kind of stock at all. I will not go close to it. At least that's my view. Okay, hope that answers your question. IPD, all of the stocks, at least I'm having completely down to. There are many other sectors to look at it, many other stocks to look at it. I think, and I don't know what this technology is, health technology, but again, the charts are not telling the story at all. Okay, it is completely beaten down, and at the moment have no sign of retrieval at all. So it's almost going to the lowest level. It's a kind of penny stock. But hope that answers the question for you. Thank you for asking those questions. Let's get cracking. So that's Australia's the US market for you. So again, looks like we have to be very careful in the market, because at this point everything is going down. Now, what is the main question for us? Should we buy the dip or sell the rally? What Shivendra is doing, what I'm doing here, right? I want to look at very clearly the two aspects of it. One, that you have to have a clear demarcation of your portfolio, which is a long-term portfolio and short-term portfolio. For the long-term portfolio, you will have to assess they are very high quality, and you have a track record of over 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years or more, like Google's or Amazon, or for the matter, Titans in India or in Australia, CSL, or any of the companies which are really having a long-term standing. But then you have to look at it from a perspective that these are the times where the market is down, and your stocks will also be down. My stocks are down. I'm also sitting on a cash, but question is, what should I do? How should I take benefit from this fall? So you have to look at each stock of yours and compare against the relative strength of the market. Okay, and see, and you compare against the last 6 months or 3 months, whatever time frame you will want to look at it. What did your stock do versus market? If stock market crashed 10%, did your stock crash 10% and more, or it crashed almost like 10% following the market, or it crashed 8%, came down, right? So if that is the answer, is that it is doing better than the market, which means it is just a trend downwards because the market is down, right? So you have to look at from that context, and that becomes a good perspective, which stocks to buy, which stocks not to buy, right? Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here, coming and asking this question. Really makes that difference. Thanks so much. So let's look at it. So what you do is, let's say, for example, I am looking at Google. Okay. Let me share my screen again. And so what you do is, you go into Google. Okay, and you can look at weekly chart, monthly chart. I generally, when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at monthly chart. Okay, for long-term portfolios, and these are really high quality companies. And then quality of the company is something is subjective for you, and you have to look at it, right? But again, that is something you find out when you are, um, analyzing the company. But if you see here in history of Google, there is 1, 2, 3, and this is the fourth time it's going down below EMA 21. Okay, and that is something you have to keep in account. And this is, if I turn the log chart on, this is a log chart on, right? Now if you want to see this is a dip, and you want to, if you see history has to be considered, then there's chances that you will, sorry about that, the chances that this will recover, and this is an opportunity. Again, that's a subject. I'm not saying to buy or sell. Okay, sorry, I was not sharing my screen. So I'm just was telling about the Google, which is opportunity is 1, 2, and 3, and this is EMA 21, exponential moving average 21. Okay, 21 months. This is a monthly candle I'm analyzing, and it has only 4 times it has gone below 21 moving average. But then you want to see what's happening vis-a-vis market today, so you go to daily chart and try and put the relative strength. Okay, so I go to daily chart and type RS, go to indicators, and sorry, so relative strength, and you select SPA, and you can do how many days, if we want to do 123 days, or you can use 6 months, 3 months, 90 days. I will leave it to you. But then you have to look at it, whether what is the relative strength. Relative strength says vis-a-vis the SPX, your stock was underperforming. If it's below 0, that means the Google fall more than SPX, right? And if it is above 0, that means Google has performed better vis-a-vis market in last 90 days. And you have to look at each and every stock and see what has that been doing vis-a-vis the market. Okay, you can see there's a line here. You can change that as well, and you can see the line here. You can make it visible, and I'll make it line dash, and also make it let's take a red line, and this is what it is. So if it's above the red line, that means it is doing better than the index SPY vis-a-vis 90 days. And if it's below, that means ever since it has gone below this line, this is December 21, the stock is on the downward trend, as you can see. So this is ever since it's been above, you can see here, as soon as it moved above, it is just has a phenomenal run. So this is on daily chart, but you go on the weekly chart, it gives you another story altogether. It is above on weekly chart because it's a lagging indicator. You will be able to know only later. On the weekly chart, it's still above zero, because now we are looking at 90 weeks. In 90 weeks, the Google has performed better vis-a-vis SPX. So you have to look at that from that context. Okay. So if you are buying the dips, that means you need to understand what are you buying. You need to understand that, is it your stock vis-a-vis market has corrected? How much? If it's more, why? You need to understand that. And if it's less, that means it's performing better. And I'm assuming that you understand the fundamentals of your stock and all that, right? So these are the opportunity times if somebody wants to build the long-term portfolio. That's what I would say, right? So I hope this was useful. Relative strength, I have made another videos around that. You can check that out on my YouTube channel and look at it, because that will give you the perspective. You can watch various other channels. I shared 3 best tips in terms of how to avoid the panic, so you can watch that. And there are so many other videos which you can go into playlist and learn about it. That will give you. So I don't want to make this live stream big, but I just want to make sure that you understand that that this is possible. It is not that every fall, and one has to sign up for that and be ready with it. And that depends on how are you reacting to this fall and how did you behave before that when the market was going up in uptrend? Were methodical? You're trying to book your profits, take the money out, and you were in cash. All that is important, right? So the behavior is what is very important. It's not about being smart. It's about how much stomach you have to handle that and survive the upward as well as a downturn as well, right? So that's the key message I want to give you for today. And just before I leave, I just wanted to quickly say that if in investment, what is comfortable is really is profitable, right? So you need to understand that. And if you're really enjoying our contents, do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, so that way you can get notified and also feed into Google algorithm and YouTube algorithm as well. Thank you so much. Let's now and subscribe to my channel here, and you can connect with me on various other social media through this link, sbhatia.co/bio. And I'm happy to answer your questions, and I love to see you in any other platforms like Twitter and other areas as well. Thank you so much. Wish you a great week ahead, investing week ahead, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, and see you next time. Bye-bye.